Alrighty guys, hello and welcome back to another video. So today we got a cast on the cards for you today. It's a 6v6 going down on Hilly Plateau, 10 by 10 kilometer map, lots of reclaim kind of dotted around. You can see up here we've got 37,000 reclaim total on the map. Let's go ahead and get into introducing our players. We're going to call, what does the scoreboard say? We're going to call this Team 1 up at the top, this Team 2 down at the bottom, and let's get into it. Starting in the very north, we've got Poke Me Now. He is playing UEF, opening first land, adjacency on to mass extractors. Quite nice. I'm having to get out of the habit of saying metal extractors after the RTS triathlon. We've got Oles playing the air position for Team 1. He's going first land, going Seraphim. And third, we have Tathael, we're going to call him Tath, going UEF, opening first land. Moving towards the middle, and we've already got commanders on the move. We've got Kramer, who is playing Cybran. He opened first land. His teammates on the front line are Lazy Avina, who's going Seraphim, opening first land. And last but not least for Team 1, we have Photo, who is going Seraphim, who also opened first land. So lots of land. We would expect to see that on this map. Moving on to team number 2. Got to speed things up before things go crazy here. We've got, I'll assist this for a bit, but he's renamed his commander. This is Taquido, going Cybran, opening first land. In the air position, we have Fior, who is going Aeon in the air position, going first land, and Artie to work on his air factory. To his north and Artie on the move, we have Moxnat, who is going UEF, opening first land. For our 3 players on the front that are already making their way towards the middle, we have Infinite Jest, who is Aeon, and then we have Zasport playing as Cybran, and LCR playing as UEF. I believe all of these guys have opened first land. Very good, very good. Lots of reclaim here in the middle, lots of rocks. Just on the screen right here, there's about 10,000 reclaim between the rocks that are back here, the stuff in the middle, and the stuff back behind team number 2. And you can see that the commanders have queued up a lot of reclaim orders here in the middle. So as the reclaim fiasco kicks off, keep an eye on how the commanders are actually doing. So Team 2's commanders keeping a pretty tight-knit bunch. Don't want any commander or ACU to run off on their own, get double-teamed or triple-teamed by any of the Team 1 commanders, which is always good. Does mean, though, that they're going to sacrifice a little bit of this reclaim here at the beginning, but probably a pretty good price to pay in comparison to going down an entire player. Looking at the north, we've got Moxnat going and grabbing some of this reclaim here in the little alcove right to the north of the central area, with Poke Me Now hot in pursuit. There's a little bit of, well, potentially a triple team. Zasport doesn't seem to feel it. More focused on grabbing the reclaim. Photo, though, dropping into the yellow here, getting double teamed by both LCR as well as Infinite Jest commanders here on the front line, and will make a retreat. Moxnat, though, finding himself in kind of a rough position here, potentially could be double teamed by Poke Me Now and Lazy Avena, or Avina. Pings going down from team number 1 to take this commander out. Assistance, though, coming from his teammates. And that's going to be 3 commanders to 2, with Infinite Jest electing to push more forward, then changes his mind and moves towards this little alcove. We got Moxnat dropping into the yellow here, taking some punishment from both Poke Me Now as well as Lazy Avina. Lazy Avina gets around the rock cropping, so not going to be able to use his primary weapon. Does go to work on a couple of snoops from Moxnat. It looks like Moxnat's going to be okay here. This being a big game, I might miss a commander kill or 2. I apologize in advance. So a little rusty on my casting lately. I want to thank you guys so much for being patient with the channel. because we were doing the RTS triathlon, I wanted to showcase a lot of the games that we were going to be playing. I really hope you guys enjoyed that content. Part 1 of that went up yesterday, and part 2 should be going up, well, yesterday for me. Part 1 went up on Saturday, and part 2 should be going up in the very near future, where I've edited down a lot of the stream footage so that you guys don't have to wade through 5 hours of cutscene and clips and music and stuff like that. We can just get straight into the games. But hope you guys enjoy that footage. I had a hell of a lot of fun making that tournament. Huge shout out to Swackle, Dragoon, and PTAC for actually organizing that, making sure that all of us casters and players were where we were supposed to be and when we needed to be there. So huge thanks to those guys. But going back to the game, we've got Pokemon now making an expansion here into the northern section of the map. Got a drop here as well from Oles, really looking to secure this northern corner. And then on the southern side, Taquito is pretty well locked down this side. We're going to see Tathael's and, well, Tath's and then Taquito's commanders squaring off here in the middle. Well, not in the middle, but in this little alcove here. Taquito throwing down kind of an awkward looking, I guess this is an E. An E. I guess he needs energy. So we have a wall section to signal to his teammates that he needs energy. This map is hard to play, though, as the air player, at least for me. 5 mexes is not a whole lot to go off of as an air player, so good to see Oles making kind of an expansion out here. Pokemon now is probably not too happy for it, but he'll probably thank us in the future whenever Oles actually has ASFs. And his opponent, Fior, is struggling a little bit for mass. So we'll see how that plays out later on in the game. T2 upgrade on the way for Kramer. That's Cybran going for T2, sacrificing the gun upgrade and going for T2 instead. Might be seeing a little bit of Firebase here from him in the middle part of the map. We'll see how that ends up working out in the future. Things have calmed down a little bit after the initial reclaim fiasco. Taking a look at our eco graph, it looks like Team 1 is winning out as far as mass goes. Now, whether that's due to the middle reclaim or just the better expansion to the north or to the flank sections, unknown, but they're sitting at about 4K mass up on team number 2. And Moxnat and Pokemon now starting to do a little bit of skirmishing here with T1 units. Moxnat going for gun damage and range, so going for Zepham. Com's not super healthy, working with about a little over 50% HP there, but gun speed and range should be able to allow him to deal with any T1 units that might cause him an issue. Also have a T2 upgrade coming in here for LCR in the center position, so both Team 1 and Team 2 looking to lock down this center position, potentially with fire bases, triads, Cerberus turrets, and the like. And then Kramer doing a little bit of skirmishing here in the middle, and a forward land factory as well from Lazy Avina. Get some forward production up on the front. That's probably an engineer factory. Looking to pump out some reclaim engineers. Both these central mexes will go down for Zasport. Risky places to put your mexes, but of course, T1 mexes only need 30 seconds to pay for themselves. Everything after that is butter. Sweet, delicious, fattening butter. And a little bit of an attempted incursion here. But Thoto has already gotten T2, dropped down an Utmashala down here in the valley between a couple of different cliffs. And Nano Repair actually coming in from Moxnat as well. So not looking to sit around with his ACU in such disrepair. Gonna go for that Nano Repair upgrade. See that HP flying back onto that commander. UEF comms do have a pretty cheap Nano Repair, so it's a pretty good option if you're looking to still fight with your commander, but you find that your commander is taking a little bit of a battering in the first segments of the game. T2 upgrade as well coming in from Poke Me Now. So lots of people really just sitting back with their commanders, making sure that they get whatever upgrades they need before forcing the issue here. And Moxnat might have decided that this is as many upgrades as he needs. With Zephamp and Nano, that comm is pretty tanky. Not something to scoff at. He's going to be pushing straight in on Poke Me Now. Maybe. Okay, there he goes. Poke Me Now almost got that T2 upgrade up, though. Give him a little bit more tank, and he's going to go straight to work on a Triad. A couple of bombers coming in to give a little bit of an assistance. There from Oles. And that Triad is in danger of not being completed. Moxnat will take that out. A couple of units, a couple of T1 units coming in. There is a T1 point defense here offering some cover. Moxnat, though, with his Nano Repair and Zephamp upgrade, seems relatively unperturbed, but we're seeing another couple of T1 point defense. And Moxnat's now going to start taking a whole lot of damage here. Especially with Ilshiva's coming in from Lazy Avina. Needs to get out of there. Doesn't need to be taking that much damage. Drops down to 3,500 HP. Goes into the red. Point defense still in range. The Ilshivas now sink their teeth in. Moxnat overextends a little bit early on in the game and is going to go down to these Ilshivas. Eliminated by Photo. Not Lazy Avina. Ilshivas were coming in from Photo. Shades of Purple throwing me off a little bit. That's going to be our first ejection from the game here. And Photo also with a couple of Ilshivas looking to move into the recently vacated base, potentially looking to deny some reclaim or cause some problems for Fior back here as the air player. These little micro chickens running their ways up. Fior was pretty Johnny on the spot though with that reclaim. Ilshivas do get pinged out. Not sure how much there is available here for Fior to respond to this. Not seeing any point defense or anything like that getting thrown down here. Fior is moving his comm, so maybe couple of good overcharges. Put those Ilshivas to bed in short order. They seem pretty content though to just take out a couple of mass extraction points in the back, and that's going to be a painful loss, that T2 mass extraction point. Rear air player only getting a handful of mexes right off the bat unless you transport for them. Comm overcharging. That should be about the end of that. And we don't need to track that one Ilshiva until it's done. Got Lazy Avina airlifting a bunch of engineers. All of them T1 to this northern causeway. I drop those off, maybe prepping some reclaim operations, we'll see. Down at the bottom, though, Taquito has well and truly walled off his position. Walls going across. Only gap is this little causeway in the south, which, incidentally, looks like Infinite Jest. Nope, sorry, Tath is going to be walling off for him, so that's very helpful as well. Both of these guys looking to mostly set up some standoff tactics in the south. But in the north, got Infinite Jest not looking to let all of this reclaim go away uncontested, as well as these mexes. Expanding engineers getting picked off by some fervors. And even a drop coming in from Photo. It's not going to make it super far. 2 Ilshivas on that drop are going to end up going down. We do have T3 air out from Fior. And T3 air out as well from Oles. So both the air players pretty much matching each other tech for tech. Does look like there are a couple more ASFs though out for Oles. than there are for Fior. I did spy a little strap bomber, though. A bit of a shocker. A little bit of a shocker. Get it? From Fior here. Push that out in quite a bit of haste. Only a couple of ASFs out. See what he ends up doing with that. In the middle of the map, we're seeing a lot of fire basing, kind of like we had talked about earlier. We got a RAS upgrade coming in from Kramer. Set up a little bit of a fire base with a handful of Cerberus as well as some Burst Masters, getting himself some much needed power for that RAS upgrade as well. But Team 1 looking like they're kind of running away with it from on the eco side of things. 15k-ish up. Then Photo even getting out here with this comm, doing some damage to these T1 units from Infinite Jest. And a lot of players walling really heavily. We got Zasport walling the middle here. We've got Taquito walling the south. We've got Tath walling the south as well. So only real avenue that there aren't walls yet is this northern approach, and then this little sliver of kind of the central southern approach that hasn't been walled yet. But everybody's sitting back a little bit for the time being, with the exception of Photo here, playing it fast and loose on the front line with his commander. But has both nano and gun upgrade on that comm, so not really in any danger from any T1 units. A handful of blazes in this mix, but not enough to really worry that kind of upgraded commander. This could worry him though. We've got that Shocker and a Mercies coming in as well. ASF's quick to respond there from Oles. And Fiora is going to give up there and pull off his ASFs, not going to cover that Shocker, which is going to go down. What a shocker. Dad joke, plus 25 experience. So Photo's still hanging out here on the front line. Lots of faith in his air player. We have another Mercy coming in, probably a miscued rally point there. Gonna detonate on a couple of parashields there from Poke Me Now. And we do have trebuchets from Taquito, who has made the jump to T3 land. Shelling this forward T3 land factory from Tath, who is working on demolishers. So looking to hit back with his own T3 artillery. And the forces have mobilized. So Photo's commander is now making a U-turn and heading back to the front lines now that he sees what's happening here from Infinite Jest. Infinite Jest will wisely back off there. Scout plane going over the top here. Taking a look at what Fior has from Oles. And what is this? Okay, that's Poke Me Now's commander. We have a little bit of a run by here from Zasport. Sneaking a couple of a Rhino, a Banger, and a Deceiver into the back lines. These Titans should be able to clear that up, though, in relatively short order. Experimental units coming out from multiple people. We have our Monkey Lord coming out from Taquito, and we have a Monkey Lord as well coming out from Lazy Avina. And we'll see where Taquito wants to take his. There is Tath's comm, a relatively vulnerable position here. Not sure if Tath has a read on that. So no read on that, but the scout plane coming over the top will be able to see that there is a Monkey Lord in fact moving in. He pings it out immediately and books his commander the hell out of there. Doesn't want to stay in that area of town for too long. There's a monkey on the loose, baby. Monkey will tear through that forward firebase, though. I think he is chasing Tath. Not sure how much there is from... There's not a whole lot from team number 1 that can help bail him out here. Taquito does have a lock on that commander. Got a good radar signature. That Monkey Lord is going to be in range in mere seconds. There we go. Laser gets trained onto Tath. That is going to be the end of Tath. Sneaky Cyberns, sneaky Monkey Lords. That's why we like them. Meanwhile, there is another Monkey Lord that has been built by Zasport here in the middle while we were watching that little chase down of... Or watching that little chase from Fred, the experimental spider bot from Taquito. What are these other names? Oh, we don't really have any other names. Okay, I guess it names experimentals. So anyway, Fred is going to secure this southern side of the map. And at the northern, or at the central side of the map, we have Zasport's Monkey Lord. I guess we'll call him Shaggy. Let's see if we get enough experimentals to just round out the entire Scooby-Doo gang. The Monkey Lords will go to work on each other. Zasports will lose out here, except for there's a bunch of Corsairs coming in from Zasport as well. That Monkey Lord, though, heavily damaged and working with about 8k HP. And the ASFs from OLS will mop up the rest of the Corsairs before they can do any more damage, but that's pretty good. Monkey Lord for Corsairs, it's a pretty good trade. I'll take that trade 10 times out of 10. Fred is meanwhile pushing up the middle as well, incurring on Kramer's firebase. Not a whole lot here that's going to be able to stop this Monkey Lord. Handful of Cerberus turrets, but nothing that is going to be able to put a whole lot of a dent in this Monkey Lord. Mop up some civilians along the way. Fred, why did you do this to us? And then Fred will turn his attention to the east and deal with Lazy Avina's firebase, which is not very built out because Lazy Avina is, well, you know, lazy. Got some T1 point defense, decided that was enough, but, you know, T1 point defense, not going to cut it against the Monkey Lord. Even has some Cybern tech in there. I'm not sure how that got there. Okay, so taking a gander here at what we got going on. Looks like OLS has a pretty heavy advantage in the air. Let's do a quick ASF count. We got 27 ASF there for OLS. And for Fior, working with about 15. So OLS with the advantage in the air game. About 1.5 to 1. Not quite enough to be able to make something significant of it yet, but that lead continues. Not something that you want to left unchecked. As Fior working on right now. So Fior's getting a little bit of extra build power. I wonder if he's floating resources. Not really. Maybe prepping build power for a later project. Did a little bit of damage though. A little bit of an incursion here from LCR. Rearing his ugly head. And Zasport actually I believe one of the sole beneficiaries along with LCR of that middle Monkey Lord that got killed. And LCR sending some rover drones as well to reclaim a lot of the larger wrecks here in the middle. Even still, though, from a mass-generated standpoint, Things are not looking better for T2. Team 2. Got almost 100k mass difference between these two teams. That is, that's a bummer. Bummer for Team 2. Which I'm not sure. It seems like team number 2 is trading really well in these fights. We look at the mass income. It looks like Team 2 is raking in more mass than Team 1 is currently, so might be getting to see a turnaround here pretty soon. And actually, you can see this Team 2's mass is ticking up, probably due to reclaim. Poke Me Now finishes an experimental unit. Fat Boy goes immediately to work on another Fat Boy. And there is a Megalith as well, and a Spider from Lazy Avina as well as Kramer. I guess that's where all of this mass has been going. We have a lone Monkey Lord, or I'm sorry, a second Monkey Lord. So we've got Zasport's Monkey Lord and Fred sitting up here at the front line. This Megalith, though, will need to be stopped in some way, shape, or form. No huge air engagements yet. Both the air players content to sit back and eco a little bit outside of our little SMD run. But as I say that, I'm sure there's going to be a huge air fight that ensues here in the next, I don't know, 10 seconds. Such as the caster's lock. Megalith moves in now. Fred and Zasport's Monkey Lords moving to assist. So Zasport's Monkey Lord goes in on the Megalith. Fred goes in on Kramer's Monkey Lord. Another bit of great Corsair work here from Zasport coming in from the top, as well as a Brick assisting. There are Skyboxers in this mix. So that Monkey Lord's going to go down. Now Fred is all by his lonesome. Dispatches the first Monkey Lord. Switches his attention to the Megalith, maybe? Nope. Okay. Megalith goes down. Fred dies. I'm so sorry, Fred. But now, from Taquito, we have Download moving towards the front line. I don't know whether I want to keep going for the Scooby-Doo theme. Naming a Megalith Shaggy seems a little bit weird. Megalith seems to be a little bit too chunky to call him Shaggy. I think we'll call him Scooby. Megaliths seem kind of like Scooby. I don't know why, but they do a little bit. Don't question it, just go with it. Where was that Fat Boy that Poke Me Now was working on, or just finished? Okay, there it is. So Poke Me Now's Fat Boy has arrived at the front lines, begins shelling some of the T1 and T3 there for Zasport. And Scooby has decided to move off from the front line now. Doesn't like the taste of that Fat Boy. Yeah, I know there was an innuendo in there, don't worry. But while we saw mass numbers narrowing earlier, they have once again widened. So team number 2, once again, sitting at over 100k mass deficit to team number 1. And again, I don't really understand. Maybe it's because Infinite Jest is struggling a little bit on the eco side of the house. What does mass income look like? Okay, not great. That might be it. Infinite Jest might need to think about upgrading some mass extraction points, getting some reclaim. Doing all of those things that me as a caster, I can say, hey, you should do that. And then me as a player, I just forget to do it all the time. I am well aware of the two-faced nature of casting versus playing. Another Fat Boy, though, coming out. So that's going to be 2 Fat Boys here from Poke Me Now. Moving towards the front lines. LCR getting an experimental up as well. That would be a fat boy of his own. So lots of fat boys in this game. Still have yet to see any sort of air engagement. I'm not sure what Fior is working on back here. Doesn't seem to really have scaled his air production a whole lot. He's got some shockers back here, but not a huge clump of ASFs, whereas Oles is going almost entirely in on the ASF game, so not quite sure what Fior is doing with his mass, but I'm sure it's a good plan. And Scooby needing to back up from this fat boy fire. Lots of engineers doing distance reclaims though on this experimental Rex that have been left here in the middle. Oh, we've got another megalith. This one's called Blow Deer. Oh, that's great. If my channel was monetized, it would be this video would have been demonetized a long time ago. Let's get real. So we can call this one Blow Deer. It's a great name. Whoever made that mod, my hat's off to you. Not a huge though amount of movement on the northern flank like we saw earlier. ASFs look like they're posturing for something. I'm checking with Oles. What is Oles working on? So Oles is going for full hive production here. Got himself a nice little air grid. Might be prepping for something. So he was gifted Seraphim tech, or he was Seraphim. Sure, was Oles Seraphim? Oles is Seraphim. Oles forsook. He gave up on the Seraphim. Gave up on the Seraphim and is going full Cybran. Which, you know, they are the superior faction. Now, Blow Deer, we've got that megalith chowing down on a couple of bricks here in the middle. Cutting his teeth. Getting into the game. Working his way to that first rank of veterancy. LCR's Fat Boy shields down, taking a good amount of damage. Poke Me Now's Fat Boy, though, getting threatened from Zasport's Corsairs. Zasport doing a really good job of just dealing with these experimentals with Corsairs. But Poke Me Now's experimental is going to survive, albeit just barely at 700 HP. So roughly the HP equivalent of 2 strikers. And that shocker's not going to make it through. What a shocker. What a shocker. Megalith picking off a couple of T3 mexes on the northern side of the map. Kramer looking to respond with a small force of bricks, giving Blow Deer more of an opportunity to prove his quality. Blow Deer, captain, the Cybran Experimentals, given a chance to prove his quality. But no, not going to get that opportunity. This Air Force, though, is starting to become a problem here. So, Oles, how many ASF are we up at? We're up at 72 with 12 out of gas. It can be pretty quickly remedied, though. And Fior working with about 43. So now we're over 2-1, almost. ASF for Team 1's player versus Team 2's player. Team 1, though, getting some good trades here in the middle. And they do have a couple of megaliths and a Fat Boy. Another one on the way. I actually do not know how this game ends. I watched till about this point before I accidentally closed out the client. Usually I know how these games end, so this one I'm going to be about as surprised as you guys are. This forward base, though, from Infinite Jest coming under siege here. Air cover in good position here, though, from OLS to prevent any Corsair snipes from coming in. That boy from LCR opens up. Decides to nope it on out of there. He's going to take a lot of damage, though. And Poke Me Now not electing to pursue with his units. There is an asylum there. Give him a little bit of extra cover. But Poke Me Now really making mincemeat of this northern flank for team number 1. And up about 400k total in mass. Sorry, 40k. Wait. 40k total in mass. I think I was saying 100k earlier. I don't think it was actually 100k. I think it was 10k. And I'm just dumb. You can't read zeros. Kramer builds his own experimental unit. Probably a Monkey Lord. Nope, Megalith. Got another Megalith here from Lazy Avina. So experimental's really starting to stack up here for team number 2. Or team number 1, I'm sorry. 3 Fat Boys on the front. Soul Ripper from Taquito. Snipe God's Servant. Oh, I want Taquito to keep building experimental units so we keep getting these great names. I've given up on the Scooby theme at this point. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, Scooby. I'm sure you're watching this. Built another experimental unit. What was his other experimental unit? And what was its name, more importantly? There it is. Chilling Notes, Blowdeer. Okay. So Blowdeer has turned now into a musician, I guess. Lots of revenants here from OLS. An experimental bomber from Photo. And Fjord just not in a great place to contest there. Revenants coming down the western flank. And Fjord's Calm is sitting here unshielded. Does he see this coming in? He does see this coming in. Can he move? Oh, well, Revenants you can't dodge. Oh, no. Team number 2 is going to lose their air player. That is very unfortunate. 2 megaliths along the eastern side are doing damage to Chilling Note Blowdeer. Wait, that Blowdeer moved really quickly. Maybe he's renaming them. But Blowdeer is getting destroyed up his butt. Fat Boy's coming in from Poke Me Now. And we're about to see a mass reclaim operation on Fjord's base. A couple of pauses there. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. Ravagers in the middle. We'll take out these Othams. Ravagers from LCR. Doing a good job planning ahead. And a Megalith here from Zasport. So team number 1, in spite of things, have managed to narrow the mass accrued gap a little bit. They have lost their air player. But Zasport and Taquito are going to be the recipients of a lot of that reclaim. Which could be that little bit of a slingshot that they need to get back, start hitting back at team number 1. The Ass Washer is nearly completed, though. That's not great. There is SMD up for Lazy Avina. I'm not sure if team 2 has SMD yet. They do, I'm not seeing it. So no SMD for Team 2. That's not ideal. Something you need to be focusing on relatively quickly, especially at 35 minutes into the game. Huge air snipe, though, coming in on Snipe God's Servant. So the guy who wants to snipe God's Servant is getting snipping himself. And that Soul Ripper's going to go down. It was a pretty heavy cost, though, in terms of ASF. Lots of static and mobile T3 anti-air there from Taquito, who has actually moved into the T3 air game himself. A pretty healthy fleet of Geminis there, maybe 10, 15. Which is not bad, considering he wasn't the air player and he's made the jump to T3 air. Not sure where his T3 air factory is. There it is. Oh, he set up a expansion that has turned into his main base now. The Ass Washer is moving. Flight of the Valkyrie. Target seems to be that Megalith. It's a hard right. Not that Megalith, actually. I think it took out an engineer there. So, good Ass Washer reveal. It's like those times whenever you go to your friend's house and you don't know they have a bidet. It's that kind of Ass Washer reveal. And that Ass Washer is now running into Taquito's T3 anti-air, the T3 ASFs. Gemini from Oles. Quick to assist. Taquito turns tail and runs, but is able to takes a couple of losses there on the way. So as we get into kind of the late game phases here, we see actually a Duke nearly done there from Poke Me Now. It's going to be a problem for Team 2. A Disruptor is just now getting started from Zasport. But I'm not seeing anything else here from LCR or Taquito. But LCR with a couple of fat boys at the front, now starting to take some pot shots at these units that are moving around here from Photo. This game might turn into a standoff war here. The Duke up. That Duke is up and operational. Not sure where he's going to target with that. If he scouted Zasports, he might be targeting this Disruptor there from Zasport.
Strategic launch detected.
We have an SMD, or a nuke launch from team number 1. Do we have an SMD? Hello? Do we have an SMD, sir? I do not see an SMD for team number 2. That is bad news, Bears. It's a good thing, though, because it's going for Taquito's base. Well, I guess that's... Oh, well, Taquito did have an SMD. Quite sure where it is. There it is. So, team number 1 had free reign for the entirety of the main base, and they decided to fire at Taquito's SMD that is loaded 3 times. So, he's going to waste another nuke there. Ass Washer's taking a good amount of damage. And Zasport now expanding towards the north with Medusas and Bricks. Zasport also in the T3 air game. Moves in with his Gemini. Snipes the Ass Washer out of the air. Nuking Taquito's base again? Taquito's got one more anti-nuke with another nearly finished. How much... Where is this nuke launcher? Nuke launcher is where? How many more nukes does this thing have in it? Can't even see the nuke launcher. I'm sure it's right in front of me too. No matter, we got stuff happening. Revenant's coming in. We got Bloatier and Download. Taking out Kramer, actually. I told you I was going to miss a comm kill. There's one that I missed. So, Download and Bloatier are now in trouble. And we have a nuke out from Taquito, going straight for the center of the base. There was an SMD here for Lazy Avina. I'm not sure if that's been killed. There's the nuke launcher that I was looking for earlier. I am not seeing an SMD. It's tactical missile defense. Is there an SMD? Oh, there is an SMD up here. Or poke me now. So poke me now, saving the day. And we've got huge banks of tactical missile launchers going in at Lazy Avina. Are those going after his comm? Or his eco? Appears to be going after build power? Seems like a weird thing to target. Oh, targeting a chain reaction takes out the nuke launcher as well. I wonder if these tactical missile launchers are in range of... They are just out of range of that Duke. They haven't even scouted the Duke. Alright, Team 2. Clawing their way back into this. Got Photo with Metric Ton. T1 land factories all spamming Zooies. They're running into Fat Boy fire. Fat Boy's getting fatter. Ranks of vet on 2 of them. One of them brand new. No ranks of vet. Alright. How's our disruptor doing? Our disruptor is nearly completed. That's a good thing. I believe that the Duke is targeting... Yeah, so the Duke is targeting Zasport's base. It's targeting this disruptor. So far not making it through the mixture of Cybrin and UEF shields. Which is definitely good. Team 2. Team 2 actually pulling ahead in the eco game now. So we're seeing a flip-flop here. Team 2 now up 30k mass instead of being down 30k mass. But another flight of strategic bombers coming out from OLS. OLS been kind of unchallenged in the air game so far. Revenants kind of just staging themselves up here in the northern section of the map. Those more tactical missiles? No, those are... What are those? Those Gunthers? Yeah, we got a whole Gunther battery here from Zasport in the center of the map as well. So almost everybody is at T3 land and T3 air. Got Infinite Jest building a portal. Quantum Gateway. Seems to be a little bit behind on this game. Which I'll be honest, I'd be behind as well. So Duke still a firing. How's our disruptor doing? Our disruptor is disrupting. I think both of these artillery installations are firing at each other. Actually, disruptor is going into the background. We're seeing shields blink on and off. OLS having power issues, it would appear. Or, well, maybe not. I don't know why his shields aren't on. Could have been an opportunity for a shell to get in there and cause some damage, but speaking of getting in there and causing some damage, we've got Slow, Stackbringer, and the experimental retard from Taquito at the front. Stackbringer is getting absolutely annihilated by Zooies. As Zooies are strong. And same with Slow. Slow being a little slow to get out of the way there, if you know what I mean. And so now we just have the experimental retard. But that megalith is staring down an army of enemy units. One lone guardian. And he decides, nope, I'm out of there. Or he just turns. We've got mass lab spam from Zasport moving in to assist. I guess labs with their high speed will do okay. Will fare okay against Zuis, which is pretty much the entirety of this army. Unless there's literally Zui fire everywhere. Takes out entire swaths of Zuis though, with each of those shots. And hello. Strap-on run from Taquito. Going in on, is this Pokemon's Calm? I can't see behind the... That is Pokemon's Calm. Not quite enough to make it through the shields though. Pokemon without his own personal shield, but Oles should be able to mop these up before they get a second pass. Pokemon moving under another shield as well. Maybe? Oh, Pokemon is out. Sniped by Taquito with strap bombers. Taquito saw what they did to his buddy Fior and was none too happy about it. But meanwhile, Percivals are gonna die actually because they were Pokemon. Another Corsair run from Zasport. He loves his Corsairs, man. Gotta love those Corsairs. Nuke from Taquito as well, going into the middle. Anti-Nuke, I believe, was killed. So that is going to be it. Oles control K'ing, actually. Before the nuke lands. That takes Lazy Avina with him. So that just leaves Photo. And everybody's saying GG, well played. That is true. Zasport and Taquito did play very well this game. To be fair though, all the players I think in this game played really well. Kramer, I think Kramer played very well. Even though he was one of the, I think he was the lowest rated player in this game. I think he played very well. So another nuke launching towards Photo. Photo doesn't appear to be yielding this without a fight. Does have an ass washer to his name though. Not sure if it took damage from that disruptor shell or not. But he also has an SMD to his name too. But that disruptor now getting in, taking out his power, and Photo bows out, donates everything to the civilians. Says, all right, civilians, here's all this high-tech hardware. Good luck. That is the end of what I think is a pretty good comeback. I think that team number one definitely snatched defeat from the jaws of victory here. I think team one had them in a pretty good position here, where they just needed to push, I think, a little bit more on this western flank, but it's hard to know in the moment. It's actually impossible to know in the moment. And if I was in any of these players' positions, I probably would have done way worse than any of them did. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. It feels good to get back to Supreme Commander content. Been doing a lot of things with Bar and Planetary Annihilation, as well as the RTS Triathlon, which was, I believe, a gigantic success. If you guys haven't seen the cut-up videos, if you guys want to see the unedited video, it's 5 hours long. It is on my channel as like a live stream, but a lot of it is like my little cutscene transition, just telling you to go watch FAF live, because a lot of people were tuning in and asking why I wasn't doing anything, and it was because we were between games, but Swackle wanted me to stream for the entire time, so you know, it is what it is. But I went through and cut everything up, and I've divided it into 2 parts, roughly about an hour each series. So we played 2 series, each one was about an hour each, so got them up into 2 different pieces. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. I believe part 2 will be going up the day after this video goes up. if I'm adhering to my schedule correctly. But until next time, guys, really hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh, one more thing before I go. If you guys have any replays that you guys want me to cast, send them my way. I love getting replays from you guys because A, I'm pretty sure they're not going to have any desyncs. If they do have desyncs, I will find you. And B, I really like just getting to know you guys as well. So seeing your games and how you guys like to play, like I really enjoy casting games that you guys submit. So send them to me on Discord. You can direct message me on Discord. My handle is down in the description below. That's all for now. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.